All right, guys, so back to the fun part of removing paint from these fenders on this Datsun. This is probably the worst part of working on a restoration. I've been using some of this paint remover here. Kind of helps out a little bit. It's not very good, but it does make it go a little quicker. Once it bubbles up, then I can wire wheel it off a little bit easier. It goes quicker. So. And I have kind of like a little bit of an audience over here. They've been watching me this morning. But yeah, we're getting at it. I mean, it's going to take some time. I've got two fenders left. Well, this fender and another fender. And then I have the hood and doors. Because I've already got the hatch done. The hatch is already stripped. Yeah, this is just primer right here. I had some leftover primer that was in my gun and I just sprayed it on there. But this is all done. These are all welded up where the old Datsun emblems go. I have these holes here are for the wing that's going to be going on there. But yeah, that's ready to be primed. The cowl is ready to be primed. That's all stripped. Oh, and I got to do the light buckets too. But other than that, that's pretty much it as far as stripping paint. And then we'll get back to paint and body stuff when the weather gets a little bit better and the humidity's not so bad. But here's just a little update on, we got the engine in, sort of. Okay. It's sitting in there, but we still have a lot of adjustment to do. It's not sitting where it needs to sit. It's way above the hood, as far as the turbo goes. I would say at least 2 inches, maybe 1.5 inches, close to 2 inches above the hood. So the whole engine's got to drop down. These the mounts I'm using, these CX Racing mounts, I'm gonna have to pull it all back apart and kind of slot it a little bit more up in here. So I gotta move, this can move up, which will drop the engine down. But I mean, as far as left to right, it's in the right spot. It just needs to drop down a little bit. And you can see that there's plenty of room between the steering rack and the oil pans. So that's not a big deal. We can definitely go down a little bit and then, that'll help the center of gravity and all that. But if it wasn't for the turbo, it probably would be okay. I think that the valve cover should clear the hood because the Datsun hoods have a little bump in them right through here, but it's definitely not going to clear that turbo. So yeah, that's what we got to do. And then another thing I've been working on is on the side here and there is a little bit of the wiring. I kind of have it figured out in my mind how it's all going to work, and I've already kind of ohmed out the switch to see where, the accessory, the ignition, and the on position. This thing has quite a few positions in it. Start, it's got on, it's got accessory, and then unlock, and then lock. So it's not that complicated. You have one in, and then you have 3 outputs, I think. So, it just depends on where we're going with it. You put your accessory on like radio, and if you had power locks or power seats or something like that, so your car doesn't have to be running in order to do your power seats and your radio. You could turn your radio on while you're parked and it's not turning on the ECU and fuel pump and all that mess. So yeah, there's a few things we got to figure out. It shouldn't be too bad because this is not that complicated. The kit I bought, it's a Speedway motor kit. I don't remember if I showed you guys this in a previous video or not, but anyway, it's a Speedway kit. It comes with all the instructions. Now, this kit was designed for like a Chevrolet, okay? It's a GM type kit, and it even has connectors that actually plug right into your column and all that. So some of this, like even the headlights have connectors built right into the harness, I believe. But like I'm gonna have to cut some of that off in order to make it work on this car. You've got, you know, like brake switch wires. All this stuff goes to the rear of the car, which if you look at all these, that's what I have running right here. And I've just been kind of separating them and going over everything and seeing where everything goes. But yeah, it's a 22 circuit wiring harness from Speedway Motors. It's fairly priced. It's like 200 bucks. I mean, wire itself is not cheap. So even if you just went ahead and bought all this wire, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's like 3 meters of wire or 20 feet or something like that. If you went to buy all that wire, you'd spend over $200 anyway. So, and it comes with a light switch. So I'm going to abandon the switch that is on the Datsun, and I'm just going to use this because it already has a connector. And I'm going to somehow put this in the dash, okay? And it's just a pull, you know, for your headlights. And you can also use it as a dimmer for your, you know, your dash lights, the dome light. It'll turn the dome light on and off, you know, from there. It's just a standard GM, what you would find on a GM, okay? And then from there, they use this floor switch, okay, which I think is a pretty cool idea. That little floor switch like you have on old Chevrolets, I'm gonna mount it to that little pad there. And then for your brights, you know, you just reach your foot over there and you hit that button for the brights. So it'll be a little bit different than what a normal, this is like not gonna be original stuff. And the reason I'm doing this is because of all the connectors that are in this car are all dry rotted and just falling apart. I don't know if you can tell or not, but look, I mean, this here, you can just break it and it turns into dust, okay? See how it's just like breaking off, turning into dust? So this is the reason I'm not even gonna try and reuse any of this. It's too old and I don't wanna use any of it. And the other thing I'm gonna do is probably eliminate the windshield wipers. I just not even have them. We'll do like Rain-X on it. I mean, I'm not gonna really be driving this car in the rain anyway. So a lot of guys do that. A lot of guys will delete the windshield wipers. So you pretty much don't need this whole entire stock here. You don't need, okay? And then I know there's a bunch of companies that sell aftermarket turn signals. These are notorious for not working or being intermittent. Like everything in here is all rusted and everything. So, and again, this connector here, look, it's falling apart. Like just breaking up. Like you could probably pull that right off of there and it would just disintegrate. So yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this. So we're gonna simplify it, make it more, you know, more modern, somewhat. I'm gonna do all Deutsch connectors. I ordered all these off Amazon. I think I got all 3 of these, I think for like 80 or 90 bucks. You can't beat it. And then I also ordered this power braid stuff here. You can order it at a couple different places. The power braid from Painless Performance, this kit here, it's a little expensive. This is like 150 bucks. And you don't get as much as I got for I got this for like 80 or 90 bucks, okay, for all this. And I went ahead and just got like 100 feet of this. And I think 100 feet of this size too, the smaller. And then, I don't know, 30 or 20 or 30 feet of this, the larger, for all your larger wires. And I got this from this place here, techflex.com. So yeah, check them out. You know, they're a little cheaper than buying the power braid from Painless. So, but anyway, there's going to be a lot of wire I'm not going to use. You know, you've got all this stuff here, alternator starter, headlight ground wiring kit. I mean, yeah, I will use some of it, but as far as like the alternator goes, I'm going to be using a normal like 1-wire alternator like I used on this car. So much more simple than, you know, running an activation wire and all that. These are just 1 wire, and once they see RPM, they turn on. That's it. Real simple. You don't need to worry about all that other extra wiring. So yeah, so I've been working on that. I'm probably gonna have to order some more these heat shrink connectors. Like I said, I probably won't be using much of this, Mostly I'm going to be using these Deutsch connectors, and maybe one day I'll do a video on how to crimp these, because I did order, well, this was a while ago, but I ordered this good crimper. Let's see if I have it in here. Yeah, you got this style. This is for certain things, and then this crimper here is the one you want to use with those Deutsch connectors. It's like a double crimp, okay? You crimp it with one, and then you can go to the next one, and it finishes it off. Again, maybe I'll do a video on how to do that. It's not very hard, but anyway, this is where we are, and yeah, I feel good about the progress I'm making. I mean, it is slow, but you know, that's how these things go. We got to figure out an intercooler. I'm going to be running the pipes through these holes here, which is kind of how I've seen other people do it. So I need to kind of measure that out. This one here, it's about the right size, but this intercooler was one I bought years ago, and it doesn't intercool. It doesn't do anything. It's the super cheap, like $60 eBay junk, and the intake air temperatures like don't even change from one side to the other. So that was just for kind of mock-up and to kind of get measurements. But okay, and then another thing, some people, when they put 2Js in Datsuns, this intake here, a lot of people say they don't fit, but it does fit if you flip the throttle body on its side. So normally this part here that controls the throttle body, your blade, is usually sitting over here. But if you do that, then you have this TPS sensor running into the fender here. Okay, see, because there's barely any room here. I mean, I'm maybe 1.5 inches, if that, maybe an inch. So this TPS here was running right into it, and I'm not going to cut a hole in this for the TPS sensor. So I flipped it. You know, we got to come off of this bracket here to make a little holder for the throttle cable, and yeah, go from there. So I did order a throttle cable. This here is just a simple little low-car throttle cable, and we got to figure out a way to get this, you know, in here and on a bracket. So got that to do. We got the fuel pump. I got this off of eBay. This is a Dishworks 350, which is the same as what I have in the other car, but I have two of them. I run two of those same pumps in this, and I haven't had any fuel pressure issues. So it maintains good fuel pressure. I mean, I haven't turned it up all the way yet, but so far so good. So got that, and then just a regular old 30 micron filter. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Got another oil feed line here. This is going to be for an oil pressure gauge, because I did get the T. This is the T I was talking about before on a previous video. So this T will feed the turbo, and then off the top, I'll tap the oil pressure off of that. And yeah, I always like to use a mechanical fuel pressure gauge, even on this car. I just don't, those sensors, if they go bad and you don't know, and it's giving you a bad reading, you're run the risk of, you know, blowing your engine up. So, but anyway, this is starting to bubble up. You can see how that bubbles up. This has only been about 15 minutes. So I'll let this bubble up, and, you know, I'll get a razor blade, scrape it off, and then it'll be much easier to wire wheel it. So anyway, guys, I just kind of wanted to give an update. And again, like I hate doing, going too long. I know it's been like a week or two since I did a video. I don't like to go too long without giving you guys an update on the process, or the project, I should say. I have other things coming too. I ordered coils for it. I'm going to use like Yaris coils, Toyota Yaris. They're a little bit shorter, and I should be able to fit them up under this cover. I might have to cut this off, but it should fit under the cover. And yep, we'll do that. I'm ordering injectors, just some I'm just gonna order some Bosch 1000cc injectors. I'm not gonna go with, Injector Dynamics or Fuel Injector Clinic, all those expensive, overpriced injectors. Just some standard Bosch injectors. As long as they're genuine, you can get them fairly priced. So I ordered some of those. We'll get those in. So we got injectors, we got coils. It comes with the pigtails to wire it in. And I'll show you guys how to wire that once that comes in, as far as, we're gonna run wasted spark and all that. So yeah, there's the project, and it's making a little bit of progress. So anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video and the update, and hopefully I can make some more like DIY stuff. So, we can all learn. So anyway, check y'all later.